You paid for the groceries. And then what?
We went out to the car, and that's it.
When'd you shoot him?
What?
At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes, when did you shoot him?
I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean, we need you out here.
I'm in the middle of a damn confession here.
Whoa! Wait a minute!
I asked him if he did it, and he said, I shot the clerk. I asked him again, and again he said, I shot the clerk.
Your Honor, no further questions.
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. And this is a video that I think is pretty ridiculous that I have to fucking make. But here we are. Before we even get into the video, let me make two things perfectly clear. One, if you believe that every Bethesda game is going to be Xbox exclusive, barring the ones that are contractually obligated to be on other platforms, I am not saying you're wrong. Two, even though I am a PlayStation preferred player, I want every Bethesda game that could possibly be on Xbox to be Xbox exclusive. I want everything that Microsoft acquired in the ZeniMax deal to be Xbox exclusive. And I will tell you why. I have owned every generation of Xbox that has ever existed, minus the most current one, because I don't have a Series X or S. During the PS2 OG Xbox generation, I owned, played, and loved both consoles. Both gave me a reason to come back to play them. During the PS3 360 generation, I owned and loved both consoles. Both gave me a reason to come back and play them. During the PS4 Xbox One generation, however, the Xbox One, for me, just did not give me enough reasons to come back and play it. I love Forza. I like Forza, but I'm not a big racing fan. Halo was a franchise that for me started to get old, and Gears was a franchise that, again, for me, I never really liked to begin with. I played it on 360, I never cared for it. And that's kind of all we got with the Xbox One. Yes, there were other games here and there, but there were not any games that really grabbed my attention or were games that I was really interested in. So the Xbox One generation was the first generation for me where my Xbox didn't really give me any reasons to come back and play it. And it got to the point where it just kind of sat next to my PlayStation and my Switch not being used. And the only way where my Xbox One would get used is if I went out of my way to buy the multiplats on it. And I didn't care to buy multiplats on my Xbox because I am a PlayStation preferred player, and that's where I prefer to play my multiplats. So I want Xbox to have exclusives. I want all their first-party studios to be making fucking bangers. I want every studio acquired through the ZeniMax deal to be making exclusive games for Xbox. Because Game Pass, for me personally, is not a selling point. Game Pass, for me, is just a bunch of games that I've already played and already beaten. I don't care about Game Pass, so it's not a reason for me to go out and purchase a new Xbox. However, new, compelling, exclusive games absolutely is. Whether those games are in Game Pass or not is irrelevant to me. If there are new compelling games on the Xbox platform exclusive to Xbox, that is a compelling reason for me to go out and buy an Xbox. It's also a justification for me to actually own an Xbox. Because with the Xbox One, I came to a point where I couldn't justify just having the Xbox sitting there not being used. So I gave it to my little sister, who's also a PlayStation preferred gamer, but she's also an online multiplayer gamer, something I'm not. And she prefers Xbox Live to PSN, and she lovingly uses that Xbox One to this day to play Apex Legends or whatever other fucking game she plays, right? So that's where I got when it came to the Xbox One. I couldn't justify the Xbox just sitting there not being used. Now, I do plan on getting a Series X at some point. There are just two problems, though. One, it's still not very easy to get your hands on a Series X, and two, as of right now, I just can't justify the purchase of a Series X because those compelling exclusive games just aren't there yet. Like I said, Game Pass for me is not a selling point. They're old games that I've already played and already beaten. I don't care about old games. It's the new games that I'm most interested in. And right now, Xbox just doesn't have compelling games for me. You may love the lineup of Xbox exclusives. That's fine. For me, they're just not there yet. And I'm hoping that someday they are. Like I said, I'm hoping that those first-party studios come through with some fucking bangers. I'm hoping Hellblade 2 is awesome. I'm hoping Avowed is fucking awesome. I'm hoping Fable's fucking awesome. I want these games to be awesome. And again, like I said before, I want everything acquired through the ZeniMax deal to become Xbox exclusive, because it would be a compelling reason for me to now go out and buy a new Xbox, and then a justification for me owning the Xbox, because I can't see spending the money on it for me to not be using it. So let's recap. 1. If you think that all of the Bethesda games going forward, minus ones contractually obligated, are going to be Xbox and PC exclusive, I am not saying that you're wrong. 2. I repeat this, I want everything acquired through the ZeniMax deal that can possibly be Xbox exclusive to be Xbox exclusive. All right, got it? Good. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into the reason I'm making this video to begin with. And that is, there is a big difference between the things that Phil Spencer actually says and the things that you were telling me Phil Spencer said. Like, I don't understand why we're having this issue where Phil Spencer says one thing, and then I have a whole fuck ton of people telling me what he said when that's not what he said. Because I made a video a couple days ago about Xbox fanboys cheering about Bethesda still making PlayStation games. Because at that time, they had made some comment about some of the Bethesda games being Xbox exclusive. And immediately after that, Phil Spencer made another comment on the matter where he, quote unquote, cleared it up, right? And right after that, I had a fuck ton of dudes commenting shit like, well, this didn't age particularly well, did it? Oof, this aged poorly. Wow, this video didn't age well. Exclusivity of new games confirmed. Confirmed, he says. Aside from the ones previously contracted to come out, the rest are all exclusive. And then because I didn't make like an immediate video right after he had said this new thing, I get shit like, this dude is going into hiding. Yes, that's it. It totally wasn't me spending the weekend with my 7-year-old nephew, important shit. Nah, it was me going into hiding because you think Phil Spencer said something that he didn't fucking say. So let's read the Phil Spencer quote together, shall we? Because I want to help you understand the difference between what Phil Spencer actually said and the things that you think he said. Because yes, there is indeed a difference, and I want to try to help you understand it. So here's the quote in its entirety. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive, because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players, and we love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. That's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building. Now, nowhere in this entire quote does Phil Spencer say that the only Bethesda games that are going to PlayStation are the ones that are contractually obligated to do so, or that all future Bethesda games, minus the ones contractually obligated, are going to be exclusive to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass, and only those places. It doesn't say those things anywhere in this quote. Phil Spencer never said them. So why am I hearing over and over again from Xbox fanboys that it's confirmed that this is what's happening. Because I'm looking at the quote right here. We're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't fucking say that. Where does he say that? In here. Where? And I keep hearing from people, oh, what this means is that Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 are still going to be on PlayStation, and then Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, because of contractual obligations, will also be on PlayStation, and after that, that's it. No more Bethesda games on PlayStation. I'm hearing this from a lot of people. And again, I ask, where did he say that? I didn't see him say that. Did he name games in this quote that I somehow didn't hear? Did I read through that quote and somehow just happen to pass over him listing all these games and where they're going to or not going to be? And again, if that's what you believe is going to happen, I am not saying you're wrong. I'm also not saying that that's not what's going to happen. All I am saying is that is not what this man said. I don't care how much you fucking think that's what he said. That's not what he said. Nowhere does he say these things. Now, for those of you who are saying that only the contractually obligated games are going to be going to PlayStation and other platforms, does Phil Spencer mention the contractually obligated games? Yes, he absolutely does. He mentions the contractually obligated games more than once, as a matter of fact. But does Phil Spencer say that contractually obligated games and only contractually obligated games are going to be the Bethesda games that go to other platforms? No. No, he does not. Nowhere in this quote does he say that. Then there's those of you who say, oh, well, Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, those are going to stay because he mentioned legacy games. Well, first off, he didn't say legacy games. No, he says in the future there might be things that have contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go do. Now, what does Phil Spencer mean by legacy? I don't know what he means by legacy. You don't know what he means by legacy. But if you want to say, oh, legacy means old games, sure, maybe that's what he means. But hear me out for a second. For all we know, legacy could mean old franchises. And look, I'm not saying that this is what Phil Spencer said, because Phil Spencer didn't define what legacy means. I don't know what it means. All I'm saying is, maybe it means games like you say, maybe it means franchises, because he says in the quote, things that have legacy on different platforms. Well, Elder Scrolls has legacy on PlayStation. Fallout has legacy on PlayStation. So when he says legacy, does he mean individual games or does he mean franchises? Again, I'm not saying that that's what Phil Spencer is saying. All I'm trying to say and explain to you is that the man did not define what he meant by legacy. And he could mean games. He could also mean franchises. We don't know. But if you want to take what he said and then say, oh, he meant games, well, you can't do that because you don't know that. Just like I can't sit here and say, oh, he meant franchises because I don't know that. Again, what the man said and what you think he said are two different things. And of course, I know all these fucking Xbox fanboys are going to attack me. Oh, you're just a damage controlling pony. Oh, you're so angry that Xbox got Bethesda and you're damage controlling. No, this has nothing to do with damage control. This has nothing to do with PlayStation versus Xbox. This has nothing to do with console wars. It is simply to do with what the man said, actually fucking said, versus what you keep telling me he said. And all you fucking idiots out there, common sense says that of course they're gonna make all these games exclusive. It's common sense. Common sense, these nuts. It is not common sense that they're gonna make all the games exclusive. Depending on how you look at the situation, common sense could be, yes, 100% they're going to make the games exclusive because they want to sell more Xboxes, or common sense could be, yes, 100% most of the games are going to be multi-plat because that's how they're going to make more money. Common sense is dependent on how you are looking at the situation. I'm not saying that your common sense is right or wrong. I'm not saying the other common sense is right or wrong. I'm just saying Phil Spencer said one thing, and you are running around saying he said something completely fucking different. Now, in my opinion, this is my opinion on what will happen based on zero evidence because they have given us none. My opinion is that new IPs will be exclusive where established IPs will be multiplat. I believe Elder Scrolls and Doom and all these things will stay multiplat, and all new IP in the future will be exclusive. That's just what I believe. I'm not telling you that's what's gonna happen. I'm not telling you Phil Spencer or some other motherfucker said that's what's happening. I'm just saying that's what I believe will happen. That's what I think will happen. And I'm on the record saying that. And I'm going on the record now again saying that's what I think will happen. Now, if that doesn't happen, then I will have been wrong, and I will come out saying, hey, I got it wrong. I thought they were going to do something different. I was wrong. I'm not afraid of fucking being wrong. So you assholes who thought, oh, he was hiding. I wasn't hiding. I was doing something else. I'm doubling down. I'm on the record saying what I think will happen. Again, what I think will happen. I'm not telling you this is what's going to happen. I'm saying this is what I think will happen. If it doesn't pan out, then I was wrong. Big fucking deal. Colt Eastwood is wrong every other fucking day with the bullshit misinformation that he peddles you. But you guys still love and respect him. At least I'm being honest with you and telling you these are just my thoughts. These are what I think will happen. And if it doesn't pan out, hey, I was wrong. Something else that you need to understand about this quote that Phil Spencer said is Phil Spencer didn't just come up with this off the top of his head. You need to understand when you deal with billion-dollar corporations, they have PR teams who come up with exactly what they're going to say. People whose job it is to do nothing but figure out what Phil Spencer's going to say and how he's going to say it. Okay? Now, this next part is, I'll admit, 100% speculation. This is 100% me speculating. But in the beginning, we would hear things about why Xbox wasn't definitive on what was going to happen or not happen when it came to Bethesda exclusives. And at the time, it was, well, the ZeniMax deal is not finalized, so, they can't be saying certain things because of legal situations. When the deal is done, then they'll come out and they'll make a definitive statement. Well, now the ZeniMax deal is done. It's finalized, the ink is dry, Microsoft officially owns ZeniMax, and with ZeniMax, everything that came with it, right? So, if Xbox and Phil Spencer were really going to come out and make a definitive statement on what's going to happen with Bethesda games, taking into account existing contractual obligations, couldn't he have easily have said something like, barring the games that are contractually obligated to already appear on other platforms, every Bethesda game moving forward will be exclusive to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass, and only those places. Couldn't he have easily said something like that? A quote like that still covers the contractually obligated games, very similar to the quote that he did give us, but also leaves it up to zero interpretation as to what will happen with the other games. He could have easily said something like that. People get paid a lot of money to figure out how to word things. So my question is to you, why didn't they make a statement like that? Well, again, there's no reason to tiptoe around topics anymore. The acquisition is done. They own ZeniMax. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, games that are already contractually obligated to be on PlayStation or Nintendo or wherever the fuck they're supposed to be, those games are still going there. But everything else, Xbox and PC exclusive, baby, come get this Game Pass, motherfuckers, right? Why didn't they say something like that? And again, this, I will admit, is pure speculation. But me understanding that the way they word things is very important, and that they specifically word things in certain ways. That's the way businesses work. That's the way these companies work. When you're dealing with billion-dollar corporations, that's the way this shit is. Also, you think they want to have another Don Matrick moment where he goes off the cuff and says some shit they're going to regret for an entire generation? You bet your ass they're not. So on one hand, we have a situation where Phil Spencer didn't say the things that you're saying he said. And on the other hand, I'm asking you, why didn't he say the things that you're saying he said? I don't have the answer to those questions. All I'm saying again is what you're saying the man said is not what he said. So is it confirmed that all future Bethesda games, minus the contractually obligated ones, are going to be exclusive to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass only? No, it is not confirmed. Again, you can say it is, it isn't. Is it confirmed that the only Bethesda games going to PlayStation in the future are going to be Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo? That's it. No, it is not confirmed. Again, I know that's what you want to believe. I know it is. I know you think that's what Phil Spencer said. I know you do. But he didn't. And I can't make you believe that. If you want to believe he said something he didn't say, hey, you believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. I'm just trying to help you understand that what the man said and what you think he said are two very, very different things. And hey, I've gone on the record telling you what I think will happen, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you are on the record telling people what you know will happen. So, if for whatever reason, games like Starfield are multi-platform, or games like Elder Scrolls are multi-platform, or games like Doom are multi-platform in the future, remember, you were the one telling people 100% it was confirmed that they were going to be exclusive. You were the one saying that. Now, I think something else will happen, but again, I'm telling you, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not telling you that is what's going to happen, but you're the one saying you know what's going to happen. 100%. That's what's going to happen. Confirmed. So if I was wrong, hey, big deal, I was wrong. I already admitted I don't know what's going to happen. I'm telling you what I think will happen. You, on the other hand, you're the assholes running around telling people what you know will happen. And if it doesn't pan out, you're going to look pretty fucking stupid. But hey, like I said in the last video, you do you, boo-boo. Do whatever the fuck you want. Think whatever the fuck you want. You're the ones writing the checks, not me. And when it comes time to cash them, we'll see if you have any money in your account. With all that being said, that's all I got for you guys on this one. And that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Did Phil Spencer actually say these things? Or am I losing my fucking mind? Let me know what you think. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next Supernova.